Lady Brion is an international spoken word artist, activist, organizer, and educator. She currently serves as the executive director of the Black Arts District. In 2024, she was also, as I mentioned, appointed by Governor Wes Moore as the Poet Laureate of Maryland. Yes, give her another round of applause for that. Making her the youngest Poet Laureate in the state's history and the only spoken word artist to ever hold this position. She received her BA in Communication and Culture from Howard University and her MFA in Creative Writing and Publishing from the University of Baltimore. During her slam career, she won the 2016 and 2021 National Poetry Slam, the 2017 and 2019 Southern Fried Regional Slam, and the 2019 Rust Belt Regional Slam. In 2021, she also became the Woman of the World Poetry Slam champion, making her the #1 ranked woman slam poet in the world. Yes. And our harpist, Megan Joie Coleman. How many people can also say they've been introduced by a harpist in their life? What an honor. Yes, yes. Megan Joie Coleman is a DMV-based harpist, composer, arranger, and another Howard University graduate. Yes, yes. Known for fusing classical technique with the sounds of R&B, pop, jazz, and hip-hop. A versatile performer, she shares her artistry across concerts, events, and studio sessions throughout the region, Philadelphia, and New York. So give another warm welcome to our guest.
Good afternoon. So again, my name is Lady Brion, and it's such a pleasure to share in this moment with you all at Clifton House. And so I want to thank team for inviting me today. This is beautiful, and I want to thank you all for being here. So I was asked to, for this particular set, I have been asked to read both original works of my own and from Lucille Clifton. So I decided to couple them together, works of hers that reminded me of works of my own. And so we'll see how it goes. We'll also see how it goes with the harp, because I've never performed with the harp before. So new territory all around, but I hope you all will enjoy. All right, so I'm doing a little mix, some old, some new, some spoken words, some poems from my book. So, you know, we're going to flow with it. We're going to vibe. And yeah. All right. So the first poem that I'm going to read is by Lucille Clifton, called Water Sign Woman. And you feel free to just jump in as you feel led by the Spirit. Okay. All right. Here we go. Y'all can hear me okay? All right, here we go. Water sign woman. The woman who feels everything sits in her new house, waiting for someone to come who knows how to carry water without spilling, who knows why the desert is sprinkled with salt, why tomorrow is such a long and ominous word. They say to the feel things woman, that little she dreams is possible, that there is only so much joy to go around, only so much water. There are no questions for this, no arguments. She has to forget to remember the edges of the sea. They say to forget how to swim to the edge. She has to forget how to feel. The woman who feels everything sits in her new house, retaining the secret. The desert knew when it walked up from the ocean, the desert, so beautiful in her eyes. Water will come again if you can wait for it. She feels what the desert feels. She waits. All right. So this poem reminded me of two short poems from my book. And so I wanted to start there. And you don't have to stop playing. I'm just going to kind of weave in and out of poems. But do your thug this or whatever you feel. Okay. So it reminded me of a poem called Girls Who Grow Into Shadows. And I will follow that by a poem called Witchy. And yeah, we'll just jump into it. Girls Who Grow Into Shadows. All abyss, negative space hush, full of bitten tongues, closet doors, not a choice, but a recess, being behind, a preset place, determined by the light that grants, the shadow makers. And what if a shadow whispers? Girls learn to lead without shining. That power is in the art of camouflage. But what if they hide so much that they forget to be seen? Get so good at being ribbed that they become caged. Girls grow flat, two-dimensional, always able to fit in places they are not welcome, stepped on without feeling pain, holding their breath. Boys are birthed sons, while girls can spend a lifetime waiting for a light source to illuminate them. Thank you. Poem 2, a little more active. It's called Witchy. The Salem witch trials accused over 200 women for being of the devil, and they have never stopped pursuing us. Our lives, a constant witch hunt. I mean, look what happened to Sandra. Abracadabra, and there she was, left levitating in a cell. Black girls been magic. How else do you explain the 200 Nigerian girls turned disappearing act magic? The way our outfits can make a man into a monster. Magic. Watch, she will appear whole after domestic violence saws her in half. Magic. The way we exist in this world full of glass ceilings and trap doors, we black girls been magic. With skin like a cauldron, but I won't be the next witch. Hunted, won't wait for them to kill me, won't hope they say my name, they won't silence me or take advantage of my body, 'cause I've been practicing for my persecution day, and I wish a nigga would try to burn me at the stake. All right. It's gonna be a different energy. I'm just kind of going where I was led, It's just, yeah. All right, so the next two poems that I'd like to read from Lucille Clifton, one of them is for which this program was named, called Africa. And it's a very short poem that I wanted to follow with the poem Atlantic is a Sea of Bones. So first is Africa. All right. Africa. Home, oh home, the soul of your variety, all of my bones, remember. Atlantic is a sea of bones. It starts with a song, them bones will rise again, them bones will walk again, them bones will talk again. Now hear the word of the Lord. Atlantic is a sea of bones, my elegant Africans connecting Wida and New York, a bridge of ivory, seabed they call it. In its arms, my early mothers sleep. Some women leapt with their babies in their arms. Some women wept and threw the babies in. Maternal armies pace the Atlantic floor. I call my name into the roar of surf, and something awful answers. The poem I want to share in response here is a popular poem of mine that is entitled I Talk Black. And I hope you will enjoy. I have been folding my tongue beneath itself, bleaching my language, clenching my jaw with shackled teeth, because the moment I open my mouth, uprising spring from my saliva, my dialogue is cruddy, sampled with the muddy boots of trade and migration, battling nations in my diaphragm, so the rhythm in my diction sounds like a war cry, and despite the white stuffed down my windpipe, I talk black with nappy phonics, syllables that kink and twist, naughty expression that beads on my palate, soul glow in this spit shine flow, Jerry curl jargon, bongo drums in my diction. This slang is semantic resistance, off with the head of the king's English. Can't you smell the riot on my breath? Char in my esophagus, my laugh is arsenic. And ain't enough opiates in this elementary education to hook me on phonics or gentrify the djembe out of my pronunciation. Love the taste of this cornbread accent. Sugar cane slang my tongue is, motherland, mama of civilization, birth of every nation, scat, boom, bat, hi-hat, jazz sax. There is music in my melanin, and I be talking hella black. With a neck roll to articulate my tone. Conversations get you high as my cheekbones, and lingo bout lush as these hips done grown. Thick thighs and deep fried vernacular. Hand motions and sound effects. Hieroglyphics hidden in my messages. My breath is the building of the pyramids on repeat. I'm like a Negro spiritual sampled over a trap beat. There is a black anthem inside my belly, so I will always lift every voice and speak. Thank you. I want to do one more poem in this little segment. In thinking about Africa and Atlantic as a sea of bones, I think about the ways in which Black people in the American context have moved through so many systems of bondage, and they still exist today. And it makes me think about the prison industrial complex. I want to end this segment with a poem called Land of the Free. Which attempts to speak power to the prison industrial complex and raise awareness about its existence. I remember when I learned as a college student that in the state of Maryland, so many colleges purchased the furniture from prison labor. And I was taken aback. And this poem, in part, was written exploring the ways in which that system works. And so, Land of the Free. The beginning is not me, it is Beyonce. Here we go. Freedom, freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose, yeah. Freedom, freedom, where are you? 'Cause I need freedom too. And I break chains all by myself. Won't let my freedom rot in hell. Hey, I'ma keep running 'cause we don't quit on themselves. Welcome to the land of the free, where bondage is big business. The United States of America has the largest prison population in the world, and many still can't see the correlation between the plantation and the penitentiary. Like they ain't say slavery was abolished in all jurisdictions except in prisons. They call it an industrial complex, meaning many connected parts all working to produce goods, and there are companies making billions off of prisons. For instance, Victoria, she got mad secrets. Her bras stitched with wires by boys that got picked up because of snitches wearing wires. And I'm sure Shorty's in here right now walking around in her privatized prison panties. Microsoft got cellmates crunching numbers and crafting keyboards. Bank of America also got bars around America. Even Toys R Us had their hands in detention centers. It's like Fisher Price got a price tag on our children, and it figures since there is a pipeline. Third grade test scores are used to determine the number of prison beds, and in turn, prisoners make college beds. So when you're sitting at your desk writing next time, just think it was made by someone doing hard time. Now how's that for mandatory sentencing? It's not correctional. It's righting the wrongs of the South, losing that war, and ensuring free labor never goes bankrupt as long as cells stay fully stocked like grocery stores. And even Whole Foods pays half price for labor. License plates made by state inmates. We ride in the highway of success with exits stamped by live stop sign by the justice system. It's like everybody in the hood's a convict. But are we criminals or commodities? Because honestly, I done did the cost-benefit analysis. You charge the father with moms on layaway and with dads subtracted, babies just hanging in the balance. But what's the difference? The math is dividing the masses. We procreate, they incarcerate, but prisons will not rehabilitate because that's a bad business model. Recidivism increases profits and dividends. Just check the receipts. This is the land of the free, or rather, the land of dollars and cents. Where taking away freedom will always be a more worthwhile investment. Thank you. Okay, y'all still with me? We good? All right, so this next poem that I'm going to read from Lucille Clifton is entitled Salt. It's entitled Salt. Totally taking a shift and turn from the last two sets. So total different energy, FYI. All right, so. He is as salt to her, a strange sweet, a peculiar money, precious and valuable, only to her tribe. And she is salt to him, something that rubs raw, that leaves a tearful taste, but what he will strain the ocean for and what he needs. That's the poem. I know, so good, so good. All right, and so the first poem that I am going to read is entitled Cast Iron Skillet. I met a cast iron skillet of a man with a voice like hot butter and molasses serenading a stack of Saturday morning silver dollar pancakes with the crispy edges. His touch is like the spices that stick, settled in and coating every taste. Every time the cast iron opens its broad shoulders to the sizzle, an open range flame aura. He is a miraculous thing passed down by matriarchs and grandmamas who taught manners through meals, homemade hugs, humor like family heirloom. His eyes hum a familiar tune. He gathers me like Sunday morning dinners, then stirs and scrambles me the way only a cook could, making pleasure of the searing. My mama always told me not to touch the stove in fear of the heat, but for him, I am gladly breaking rules and rearranging boundaries. There is no recipe. He be a delicacy made from scratch, smells of smoke, a sultry nostalgia, and my smile lingers on his savory charm. I savor the moments I sit braised in his arms. I met a cast iron skillet of a man, y'all, with a gourmet heart and the flavor of generations ground good into our every moment. He be a staple in this kitchen, never tucked into baseboard cabinets. This man, all black, all solid, and all fire tested. I hear Carla over there laughing. She like, Lady Brion don't do no love poems. What is this? All right. She is right. She is correct. Okay. So this next poem that I'm going to do was actually inspired by a previous professor of mine named Stephen Leva. He has a book, and I just love the way he talks about these everyday mundane moments in the most profound ways. And so I decided I wanted to write my own poem using that same approach. And so this poem is called Consecrated Acrylic, and it is about my love for the nail salon and how I go every 2 weeks, and it is my one self-care thing that I take very seriously. And because it is this very religious act for me, I wrote about it religiously. So I hope you will enjoy Consecrated Acrylic. Feet sloshing in a basin of citrus-scented salts, like a baptismal pool, colored a ripe clementine sunset, a laying on of hands, a Mary Magdalene washing, making souls feel too holy to christen the concrete, appendages made anew. Here, our extremities worn weary from strife, stricken deep enough to harden skin or crack and callous bone, we are serenaded by a hot wrapped towel and praised by a shea butter psalm, pressed between thumb and index knuckle, a circular harmony, a 100 square foot suite, now safe space, where we shed skin and mask and nail, cuticles and cares are cut away. A mausoleum for the dead things we left behind to feel alive again. Confidence sculpted into consecrated acrylics. A confessional hidden beneath the hum of drill bits buzzing, like secret prayers swallowed in midnight air, keratin ashed along the tabletop. a sanctified cleansing. Warm oil anoints eponychium like apostles, a holy place where 2 or 3 are gathered to adorn the temple of God, a sanctuary of cackles turned skyward, bellies gluttonous joy stored in each session, a tabernacle where we are stripped and broken and made whole by an angel cloaked in melanin and called nail tech, and I am made discipline. And I am made disciple, loyally turning and returning and turning and returning every 2 weeks in reverence of a softer me. Okay. I have a few more poems before I take my seat. I hope y'all are still enjoying. So this next poem is called Birthday. Also a poem by Lucille Clifton, Birthday. Oh, I'm sorry, actually, swap. There's a note here to swap these sections. Okay, so the next poem is Fury. Fury by Lucille Clifton. It says, Fury for Mama. Remember this. She is standing by the furnace, the coals glisten like rubies. Her hand is crying. Her hand is clutching a sheaf of papers, poems. She gives them up. They burn, jewels into jewels. Her eyes are animals. Each hank of her hair is a serpent's obedient wife. She will never recover. Remember, there is nothing you will not bear for this woman's sake. For this, I want to recite a poem that I wrote for my mother called Sugarcane Smile. My mama got a sugarcane smile. Southern sweetened iced tea, hint of lemon in her kiss. My mama loved me like home-cooked meals. Slow roasted conversations. Leftovers in the corners of my mind like I remember. She gave me cheese curls like teething rings to place between my gums and satisfy my crying. She Twizzler twisted my thick hair with globs of blue magic, make me Sunday fresh. My skin hot fudge, she caramel at best. My mama got skin like Raisin Bran, where moles decorate the flakes of her melanin. My mama, cornbread and cola, candied yam and cabbage, banana pudding and cobbler, food so good on the taste buds, it make her feet swell. She wobbles sometimes like the pendulums on grandma's clock that do tell time. Learned it from all the times great grands was cooking for church's second service. Learned to praise God through baked mac and cheese and pray. My daddy come home from the service, but he dead and gone now, and my mama in combat mode, her body covered with infections like chocolate-coated candies, sugar level 501, which is to say, she got stroke caught in between her teeth. A1C14, veins constricting, then collapsing like salivating glands when you taste that cheesecake that's too rich and saccharine. My mama so sweet, it's sickening. They had to cut sis from out her breast like she had cavities within her chest, and I'm scared that if she don't water down the syrup in her spirit, they will amputate her limbs and ligaments, leaving her bitter to the taste. Oh, sour in the face, where salty tears replace the stars that twinkle and burst in my mama's iris. My mom is hot cocoa when my soul grows cold from all the pain in this world, all gummy bear dimples and a heart made of pecan swirls. My mama, she got a crock pot type hug, the type that fills the house with aroma. My mama fill me up every time I'm around her. My mama, it's a recipe passed down through generations. And I just pray my children will have full place before she is called to grace. Amen. Pray her eyes will not be candied wrapper shut before she ever has a chance to meet them. But my mama, she be stubborn like Jawbreaker sometimes. So I sit, waiting, making pools of apologies, hoping she will forgive me enough to take care of herself, because this ain't no Candyland's child's play. And though disease is hard for anyone to swallow, this ain't no sugar pill placebo, because we know diabetes, it will not just go away, but still. My mama be like, baby, everything gon' be okay. My mama with her smile made of sugar cane, but I just can't help but fear her decay. All right, I want to thank y'all so much for listening. The last two poems, first by Lucille Clifton, it is entitled Birthday, and I will follow that with a poem called Reciprocity, and I want to thank y'all so much for listening. Birthday. Today we are possible. The morning, green, and laundry sweet opens itself and we enter blind and mewling. Everything waits for us. The snow kingdom, sparkling and silent in its glacier caps, the cane fields, shining and sweet in the sun-drenched south. As the day arrives with all its clumsy blessings, what we will become waits in us like an ache. The last poem that I have is entitled Reciprocity. And when I read Birthday, it reminded me of the moment the poem Reciprocity came to me. It was a moment where there was an aching inside of me to answer the call that I feel like everyone else around me could hear, but I couldn't, about this gift, about where it could take me, about what was possible when I didn't believe in myself. And so this is an older poem, but I started to read it again because I'm reminded of an older me, a less confident me, a me that would never see myself being Poet Laureate of Maryland. And so I end with this poem entitled Reciprocity. Reciprocity is like the bright of the sun, coalescing with the cool of the moon, creating this whirl of solar lunar eclipses of balance. But in this cosmic cavern, my unifying compass is cracked, catapulting me into the gaping holes in the blackened lows of tarnished self-esteem, a black hole, strong enough to suck in my ideas and dreams to all vitality, is non-existent, deep enough to swallow God's light and reflect nothing. Too many times I threw in the towel at the mirror, giving up on myself. I couldn't see the promise that the world had projected onto me. Felt like God had wasted good talent when he poured it onto me, because I couldn't hang in the big leagues. Striking out before the first pitch, dismissed myself before a more positive school of thought could get started, barely parted my lips before I muffled my voice with doubt. Hardly a spark before I ran to put the flame out, wallowing in self-inflicted wounds of pity. Never would have imagined this arduous obstacle course prohibiting me was a mental maze, crafted from the sticks and stones of old adages, affixed with words that hurt more than any disease, cause it's dis-ease cognitively when your wants seem to exceed the limits of your perceived self-worth. So you gotta give confidence if success you want to receive. I got all the gifts in the world, but where is my belief? Done wrote about 100 poems and I barely got one CD, so I decided to write a poem to the scared parts of me, to the scarred ego, beating itself down to a timid tremble, For this tongue tying itself in knots in fear of being influential. For these brown ears unwilling to hear compliments claiming to be humble. My mind envisions perpetually, but my hands refuse to manifest my destiny. Limp legs, too afraid to leap because failure is where I might land. So here I stand in this mediocre purgatory, not trying, not succeeding, not living, just being. What's the point in having a passion if we're too afraid to go after it? We watch untalented people thrive every day because they got drive no matter how inefficient. As we sit complaining about our lackluster lives because to fear, we've become submissive. You gotta give yourself permission, now run. Forrest Gump style into a horizon of promise, propped up on the moonlight of your past. Gotta work at it every day if success is a habit you want to last. Scraping away wooden dismay till the carved caricature materializes, and though you might not believe, lie to your mind's eye till you can see the truth of your excellence. See, there's a criminal in my psyche, but who's to blame when I'm the culprit? So today, I decided, y'all, to dungeon my doubts, incarcerate my insecurities, place my inhibition behind lock and key, because the only one standing in my way is me. And I might fail, y'all, but starting is the only way I'll ever see. There are enough haters in the world, so I'ma subtract my 32 teeth from the chatter. Can't be proud of life if what I did doesn't matter. Today I place my artistry in a box of alabaster, sacredly secluded from this dilemma, erupting in the depth of my soul where my moon is shying away from the radiant light of my sun, as I sit in sky awaiting them to eclipse as one. Thank y'all so much for listening. Appreciate it. And thank you for this beautiful accompaniment. Give it up for Megan, y'all.
Okay. Let's give it again for Lady Brion and Megan. Thank you so much. That was lovely. I just want to take a moment to give Lady Brion some props and some love. This connection between you and Lucille exists now forever, as you know. Lucille being the first Black woman to be named Poet Laureate, you being the second, but also the youngest, right? And the first, the first spoken word artist to be Poet Laureate. But I think Lady Brion wears many hats. She's a fantastic poet. Heard her sing as well. I think you heard a little bit of that. But also is the executive director of the Black Arts District here in Baltimore. And so she's doing a lot of this work that we do here, that I do here in particular, right? And so she gives so much of herself to the community to make sure that Black folks have what they need. And for her appointment to Poet Laureate, and thinking about her commitment to community, she wanted to switch the sort of system and pattern up. And normally the Poet Laureate gets appointed in Annapolis, which is the state's capital. And she said, no, we're gonna do that in Baltimore. And specifically, we're gonna do it at the Clifton House. And so we are deeply grateful to her. And so this feels like a sort of bowing down and gratitude to you for making sure that we celebrated you in that way. So thank you for your heart, for your love for community, like none other. And Megan, just meeting you, but I cannot think of another magical way to sort of, accompany Lady Brion. It was stellar. Thank you so much. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much. How can we support you? Where do we go to follow, support? Yes, and where's the album? Other things.
Soon come.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm on socials, and I will definitely share my Instagram and everything, so you guys can follow me there. It's just Meg_full-of-joy, and from there you guys can book me for any needs. I do weddings, private events, etc. So yeah.
And then to also support Lady Brion, make sure you talk to her about where you can purchase her books, because let's support this artist as well. Okay. We're going to transition. We're going to break down this set for the next conversation. So we have about 15 minutes of a bio break. Don't go too far because we're going to set up, but we do need to clear some space just to clear out the harp. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's give it for Lady Brion and for Megan. Thank you so much. That was lovely.